Or go to selectquote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save. Get full details on the example policy at selectquote.com/commercial. This might be very depending on your health insurance company and other factors. Not available in all states.
Welcome back to Coast AM. One of my favorite peeps is here, James Van Trog. James, how are you?
I'm good, Lisa. How are you?
I am so good. It's been a while, and you popped into my head, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I would love to have you on. How have you been? How is everything going?
It's always hearing your voice, and you're so full of life.
It's going to be like listening to two old friends talk tonight, because...
Here we are, yeah.
Exactly.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Tell me all about your Halloween celebration. What do you do on this wonderful All Hallows Eve into All Saints Day?
Well, and so many other, folklore legends and lots of different things around the world. For me, in days past, I was very busy, usually doing demonstrations of spirit communication and really doing that around the world. And these days, last night I did a Zoom demonstration for about 600 people, and so I did that, and I do a lot of teaching, and then I do radio shows like yours.
Mm-hmm.
It's a busy time of year for medium, as you can imagine.
It is. Because is this the time of the year that the veil is thin? I mean, what is your interpretation of it?
Well, there's so many beliefs in folklore that based upon that, and it's that the veil, there's this wall or curtain between both the spiritual world and the earth world is thin, where two realms kind of collide. And, I'm like that all year, but I do believe there are certain parts, I believe that everything is seasons, everything comes with seasons and timing, just like the planets move astrologically, they're always moving, so there's something happening. So in some ways, I do believe that it's thinner, in some ways, whatever that means. I know for me, between probably end of September through probably end of November, it's easier for me to reach over and get details from the other side. Last night I did this reading for this lady, and she said, my daughter made me get I didn't like pantsuits, I used to wear dresses all the time, and in 1958 she brought me to Corvette and forced me to wear that lime green pantsuit, and the lady understood that. And that's very strong detail. So I would hope that detail would come through in the other parts of the year. But at this time of year for me, in the mediumship, there's also seasons, which needs to come in seasons as well. Sometimes, there's some seasons that are much more stronger than others, and this is one of them, actually. So it doesn't work for my type of work.
First time I've ever heard that. So what are some of the harder times to hear communication? What type of season is that?
Well, for instance, let's say summertime. Everything gets seasons in life, too. In our lives, everything gets seasons, really. and monthly and daily, really. We go through periods of ups and periods of downs, and just like the weather and the atmosphere is moving because they affect us because they're mostly made of water. So there's different, as you will, there's different things going on. Right now we're in the middle and coming up through November, December, a lot of these eclipses. And we're just a major retrograde, 6 planets in retrograde we just went through. So that means that there's a holding back, there's a stagnation, if you will. And that affects us because they're mostly made of water, so things can't move as they were. And on top of COVID.
This is why my flights keep getting canceled. I was just talking about
You know you can't do that anymore. It won't work. But for me, this is a good time. I find that summertime has been, I guess, been more difficult, but I've been doing it so long, for 40 years, that for me, the most difficult really is the audience member, the recipient. Because when you work as a medium, you work with 3 different levels of communication. You're working with a spirit person who, just because they're fast over, doesn't mean they know how to communicate. Because they concentrate on a thought or a feeling or a memory or emotion and transmit that to the mind of the medium. So the mind of the spirit, which is the soul, is the mind of the soul. The mind of that spirit has to communicate to the mind of the medium. And if a medium 3D can, they'll get that. And if the spirit is instructed how to do that correctly, they will. Just because the best of us know how to communicate properly.
now.
But then the recipient has to understand that this is real. And last night I had a man whose wife came through and talked about the wedding ring on his pinky. And he looked at me like I was crazy, but he showed the pinky ring, and that was her ring on his pinky.
Wow.
But, they have to be open-minded, because if you're closed-minded, you're closing that door down. So that's, I find, more difficult.
How, I know you've been doing this for 40 years, but did it take you exercising that muscle enough times to really see the evidential medium that you are? Because you see these very specific pictures. How do you know to
Well, yeah, I mean, that comes in really the quality of my, and I'm 63 years old, so I can finally say it, Lisa, because I'm that Capricorn rising. Now, you're a Capricorn.
I am.
Yeah, Capricorn's all about responsibility and integrity, as you know. And I'm Capricorn rising with Virgo, which is service and responsibility. So for me, in developing as a medium, I set in what's called a development circle, which is like a meditation circle, in the silence, in building up your power, the energy of your own soul self, that loving self, and really working with that, and working with the spirit world with that loving energy. And I used to sit every Tuesday night for about an hour and a half, with my teacher and other students, for 7 years, not giving out one message, just building that energy, building the sensitivity, and really letting the spirit work with my, if you call it a spirit body or a spirit body, to sensitize me and prepare me the right way in order to be able to do this work. And that's why my messages, the details of the truth, are so accurate, because I spent all that time to do that. And nowadays, it speaks a lot. It's changing. People don't want to sit so long. People want things right away. Things have changed quite a bit. So the quality of the mediumship isn't as good as it used to be, generally speaking.
Fascinating. So have you seen over the last couple of days any of apparitions, ghost-like figures? Have you seen anyone or any of these floating around recently?
And you're talking to me, who sees this every day, right?
Well, I was going to actually ask on a larger scale, around our nation, around the United States, around anything having to do with, on a bigger scale, anything.
What I do, I choose that I've chosen that 2 years actually before it started. Well, since it started, actually, I chose not to put my mindset into anything and of negativity, because I just don't want to feed it. I just want to feed that energy. Now, am I aware of things? Like, I'll watch the news occasionally, but I'm very aware of, for instance, when the January 6th thing happened, I was very aware, because I'd seen them very clearly, spirits around that galley, that chamber. I was aware of them standing all around. And I looked at the interior costume, which is very interesting, which they would. And I was very aware that they were there. I was very aware of seeing them. Clairvoyant now was seeing them. Now, I chose to see them, because when you look at the movie, you're really going to kind of put a switch on and open up to it. But it was so clear to me that I was automatically able to see them. So a medium is someone, I can see, but if people have it's a really weird concept that people have, and I believe it's been ignorance being thrown out there on television or whatever, demonstrating leadership, that people go out in any meeting can be fearful of time, and they're always around somebody. And that's not true. If you want to connect with them, you have to open yourself up to get that space.
Okay.
You're in a radio line, right? So, there are occasions where I'm aware of them. I'm aware of the more sensitive nature of the world at this moment. And not only because of the COVID situation, I'm very ultra aware, as you are, of people's reactions and their impatience and people's, negative, if you will. A lot of that. But also I want to consider about the positivity, and that's what I'm interested in.
Yeah, and that helps. We need that. We really need some coherence.
It's change. People want to change the macrocosm, and it's impossible to change the macrocosm that changes the microcosm.
Well, it offers, right, exactly, and any messages of hope is what I'm, looking for, really, is what can help bring us together, what can help.
That's very funny, because last night in my demonstration last night, it was a really interesting one, because there were so many people, and the spiritual want to talk about what would help everybody, not just one person receive a message, but for everyone. So I'm going to repeat that tonight, certain things. And one was, you have to find within yourself that which you're passionate about. And you have to take a chance to be passionate and live your life now, because you might not have tomorrow. They're just not specifically, not realistically, but they're just saying you have to live today. You got to take chances, in other words. And you got to find that passion within everything you do. And another thing they talked about was seeing God in each person. Try to see that light, that love in each person. Good or bad, they're all made from the same source of light. So try to open yourself up to seeing that each person. I thought that was great.
I love the passionate piece, because a lot of people, especially you look at like the unemployment rate going up, people are apathetic about returning, terrified to return to work, or don't have a job to return to, or don't have a relationship that they have any longer. And you can see the malaise that's going over humanity in certain ways, and that's a great message. Become passionate about something again. It could be a hobby. It could be learning how to be a medium. It could be anything.
It could be anything. And the funny thing is, Lisa, that over the pandemic, some positive changes have happened from it. And a couple of things which have changed. The leaders have run to trust employees more, because employees are not in the office. They're at home. So it's become that, which is really good positive, that the management team has such their employees have been together to create like a virtual workspace environment that has really helped with production. That's one thing that's been good. And we've learned to be more on a clinical level, which is another positivity which is done. And technology, of course, we can embrace technology in different ways, because people have never seen before, or now they're learning, like myself, how to do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that's really an interesting way of working with people. I think in some way it might have slowed down a bit for people, because it forced us to stop, to reassess our values. In the very beginning, I did a show called, I still do it every Monday, Soul Care. And I did it every single day for about 20 minutes or half an hour online, just to help people be positive. So there's so much fear out there and negativity and negative news, that I wanted people to have some positivity. So that has helped. And I really remember they used to say, stay at home, stay at home. And when I came back to my people, I said, that means to me, how I interpret that, is go within yourself. Reassess yourself. Reassess your values. Who really are you? Who are you? What's important to you in your life? And I think that has helped people. I think this pandemic has helped people to do that, to slow down for a little bit and find things that are important in their life and see the positive instead of the negative. Because the negative is there, but there's got to be a positive. Maybe a relationship, in their families are better now, because you don't know, my son might be sick, he might not be there. So I think that's helped quite a bit. And the quality time with children that were at school.
Right. Well, it is so fascinating. It is true. There are many things that we definitely learned from this pandemic experience, and it makes you really rethink. I've been looking at all the news around the supply chain problems and all of these container ships that are stuck off the coast of California. And
I saw one yesterday. The first time I was shocked, I was like, wow, here it is.
30 sitting off the coast in Orange County. They're just hanging out there. And I'm looking at these, 8, 12, 15-story high container ships. How much stuff do we need? And is it all going to go into the dump? And like, you have the stuff, and then you use it, and then What's the first thing everyone did during COVID? They cleared their houses. Now we're trying to load them back up with more stuff.
Oh, that's a great one, Lisa. That's a great insight. It's so true. We don't need stuff.
Yeah, it
Oh, true.
junks up our minds, it junks up our houses, and I just think that it's what you're saying is getting back to basics, getting back to the clarity of it all. You get in these kind of universal messages, don't you?
They're distractions, Lisa. Things are distractions. If you have to do my real work, I think there's distractions. I really do. As an author, I know a lot about distractions. And it's distractions, no doubt about it. And so many people in life fall into the distractions because they don't want to deal with real life. They don't want to deal with the real feelings. They don't want to deal with what's inside. They don't want to deal with family relationships, or partner relationships, whatever it might be. And they get distractions. And I think maybe, hopefully we'll force them to look at their lives differently without the distractions.
Yeah, I think we've forced is a kind of a good word. Do you ever get any hits on things that, speaking of the news, is happening, like the whole gun issue with Alex Baldwin and this, God bless the lady that lost her life?
Yeah, I don't get hit on, but my point of view is, I don't get specific things like that. I do get a sense of course, and this is just really what it is. This is our school down here, the Earth School, and there are many, many schools. It's one of millions of schools. It's a hard school because we have also free will down here. There are destiny points that we have to live through, like classes we have to take. But we also have free will of how we're going to take that class. So I think that situation, it was there, that possibility might happen. What the destiny could have been, or it could have been just that free will of the person that put that real live ammunition in that chamber. That could have been, and because of that choice, it created that to happen. That is also a possibility. Now, this is really interesting in that astrologically on Wednesday when that happened. So Mars was the moon, there was a full moon, and the full moon was in Aries, okay? And Aries full moon, Aries is a war planet. It's impulsive, it's headstrong, it's jumping in without thinking it's doing it. And Alec Baldwin's an Aries. And I know Alec. He's a nice guy. And it's just a terrible thing. But you wonder, I think, of course, things are lessons, but I think that, unfortunately, humans get in the way sometimes with their free will. I think that, I always look at things as lessons to learn and how people are behaving. And what's coming from the ego and what's coming from the soul. And I love my little thing I have for the ego, my little word, the ego, E-G-O, edging God out. Use my human part. But, there's all there is love. I know for Alec is beside himself, of course.
Oh, yeah.
He's beside himself, and the family, of course, is. But let's look at the bigger picture. There's going to be regulations, stronger regulations. Regarding having a firearm on a set, which should never happen to begin with.
Right.
We need things like that to happen to make things occur and to happen. And they do. I mean,
we're making, I think there's a lot of to do around making sets safer as well, in terms of health, in terms of there were, union strikes to make better conditions for workers. I think at the after this entire shutdown happened in the entertainment industry, there's a lot of reconditioning that has had to happen after that, and this is maybe part of all of that, just looking at it from...
And it's also the sexual thing, too, and the Black Lives Matter and the whole transgender thing, which is recently at Netflix. There's a whole movement, and it really... I just wanted to be uniform. I don't want to be separated. I think because we all are one. So there should be a push to be uniform instead of separating people. We should be one human being and respect human beings. For whatever that is, we are all the same, and we got to respect it. And I think in the long run, and I got to just, I'm putting this out there, that we got to keep our minds on the bigger picture, the perspective that things are much bigger than we are as humans. And I think that as a general whole, that we're evolving, that the school is evolving in these ways. And
hopefully. That's the goal. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with my guest, amazing medium James Van Prague. I am Lisa Garth, and you're listening to Coast to Coast AM.
Brewman from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. The first woman deputy chief in LAPD history has died. Peggy York died October 17th after a serious illness. She was the inspiration for the 80s cop show Cagney and Lacey. York, who was married to O.J. Simpson judge Lance Ito, was 80. Health experts are encouraging families to follow COVID-19 safety guidelines to keep kids safe this Halloween.
Staying in smaller groups is always going to be best, making sure that if you are in larger groups or inside, that you're wearing masks and taking other precautions as appropriate.
Dr. Lee Savio Beers with the American Academy of Pediatrics says parents should also remember to watch out for traffic, supervise kids at how they trick-or-treat, and do other regular Halloween safety measures. SoCal weather from KFI, low clouds and fog near the coast, partly cloudy by the afternoon, highs in the 60s to low 70s at the beaches, upper 60s to mid-70s in metro LA and OC, upper 60s to mid-70s in the inland valleys, and low to mid-70s in the inland empire. We lead local from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Brian Berman.
Checking KFI traffic, we do have a crash in Moreno Valley, 60 eastbound at Nathan Street. That's blocking the right lane. In Ontario, 10 eastbound at Euclid, crash there has the right lane blocked. And we have the work zone in Ontario on the 10 westbound between Haven and 4th Street. 2 right lanes coned off until 5 a.m. Monday. 2 Burbank, stall on the 134 westbound of Hollywood Way, blocking the left lane. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jonathan White.
Hey y'all, it's Dean Sharp. Blackouts have become a regular part of life here in California. As disruptive as they are, they're not just an inconvenience. A loss of power to your home can threaten your health or your safety. A loss of power to your business means loss of revenue. And whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, blackouts are the problem. The solution is Duffy Power. Duffy is Southern California's emergency power expert. Not only does Duffy protect private homes, but their stellar reputation comes from keeping Southern California business operations running through emergencies, planned outages, scheduled maintenance, and electric-heavy special events. Duffy is there 24/7, 365. Repairs, emergency rentals, unrivaled commercial maintenance services, all to guarantee the power is there when you need it. Power outages are here to stay, but fortunately, so is Duffy Power. To protect your home or business from the next power outage and all the ones after that, go to DuffyPower.com. That's DuffyPower.com.
Amazon Delivery Service Partners are hiring full-time delivery drivers to meet growing customer demand. Earn at least $19.50 per hour at select stations, plus benefits, and a sign-on bonus of $2,000 from participating DSPs if you apply now. Apply today at www.amazon.com/driver. That's www.amazon.com/driver. No delivery experience required. Terms apply. Hourly rate includes a limited time incentive for delivering a route full-time between October 17th to December 25th, 2021.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp. What does solar mean for your future? Well, that depends on whether your solar is Sunlux Solar. Sunlux Solar means you've unshackled your home from the rising cost of electricity. Sunlux Solar means uninterrupted power during blackouts or natural disasters. It means no more dependence on gasoline because your home fuels your car. Sunlux Solar means saving tens of thousands of dollars over the life of the system. I design homes. I know just how much is riding on your solar. That's why I partner with Sunlux, because Sunlux is solar done right. The most comprehensive warranty of the industry, 5-star customer service, critical partnerships with industry leaders like Tesla and LG. With Sunlux, it's a partnership for your home's future, and that future is just a click away at sunlux.com. That's sunlux.com. CSLB 1008-374.
Contractor license 1047-781. Ducking Goodrich taught Kenny to do things the right way, not the easy way.
And now, every ghetto technician has a digital assistant named Duncan.
Digital Duncan is a genius, just like his namesake.
Back during the Cold War, the U.S. government came to my dad and said, "We need you to build a giant freezer as a test site and bring it down to 50 degrees below zero."
They wanted to make sure their nuclear triggers would function if they had to send warheads to Russia during the wintertime.
So Dad designed a cascade system that used weird gases like argon and CO2 instead of Freon. He and I got that system down to 50 degrees below zero in the Nevada desert in the summertime.
When the U.S. government needs a genius solution, they ask Duncan Goodrich. And when your ghetto technician needs a genius solution, they ask Digital Duncan. Gallo's been awarded 114 patents for cool stuff we've invented, and we believe number 115 is on the way. Gallo, G-O-E-P-T-L. Will keep you cool, but it's hard to spell.
Could keep them keen to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
Is it safe for my daughter?
Have they been thoroughly tested?
Will my grandson be okay if he gets vaccinated? He's still developing.
The short answer to all these questions? Yes. The COVID-19 vaccine is proven to be safe and effective for ages 12 and up. Feeling good about the facts? Visit myturn.ca.gov today to schedule a vaccination appointment or find a walk-in clinic near you. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
KFI, AM 640, more stimulating talk.
Coming up, we have a wonderful tradition on Coast to Coast. Art Bell started years and years ago called Ghost to Ghost, and it is your ghost stories, and years and decades of this wonderful tradition has happened here on Coast to Coast. And if you are a Coast insider, then you can listen to Art Bell's Ghost to Ghost, George Norrie's Ghost to Ghost shows, and featuring so many of your ghost stories, which is so fabulous, because ultimately what Art was saying, and I was listening on the way in today, they were playing a lot of replays, and George as well, say that if there are that many stories of people seeing ghosts and aliens and anything in the paranormal, it's got to be telling us something. And I really loved hearing that. So become a Coast Insider. If you go to coasttocoastam.com, you can listen to the archives, you can listen to the Art Bell Vault, you can listen to past shows. Everything is right there at your fingertips. You can listen to them with ad-free. It's all right there. I love it. I get Coast to Coast access whenever I want it as a Coast Insider. So check that out and be a part of the Coast family. And we will be back with James Van Prague. Lots of great questions coming up for him right after this break. I'm Lisa Gar, and you're listening to Coast AM.
Inflation is running hot, and now some politicians are pushing through another massive spending plan, $3.5 trillion. So here's the deal. If you're freaked out about the impact this additional spending is going to have on already high inflation, then protect your savings now. Diversify a portion of your savings into gold and silver with Birch Gold. If you haven't reached out to Birch Gold to diversify part of your IRA or 401k into a precious metals IRA, do it today. Text COAST to 989898 and get a free info kit on protecting your savings with gold. Or just buy gold or silver and have it shipped to your home. Birch Gold has an A+ rating with the BBB, countless 5-star reviews. Talk to them. Have them help you safeguard your investments. Simply text COAST to 989898 to claim your free, no obligation info kit on holding gold and silver in a tax-sheltered account. Again, text COAST to 989898 to take the first step in protecting your savings today.
First date, second date, 333rd date. Whatever the number, when the moment comes, you need to be ready. Roman ready. Being Roman ready means you have the confidence and the control to perform when the moment comes. Go to GetRoman.com/mountain and connect with a U.S. licensed healthcare professional. If appropriate, they can prescribe ED treatment to help you be Roman ready. Visit today, and if you prescribe, get $15 off your first month of ED treatment.
There's confusion about how to protect yourself from COVID, but one thing is for sure. Whether or not you're vaccinated, you need an accurate thermometer. Contact your medical provider at the first sign of fever, the leading sign of COVID and the flu. Only the Exergen Temple Scanner thermometer has been proven accurate in more than 100 clinical studies. Be vigilant and don't rely on non-contact thermometers. They have no scientific studies behind them and can miss a fever that might mean COVID. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Welcome back to Coast AM. My guest is medium James Van Prague, who has been for 40 years proving life after death through his teachings, his books, his television shows, and his online school, the James Van Prague School of Mystical Arts. I have a question. James, why do you feel that there are more mediums now than ever?
Yes.
Just wondering.
I do.
Do you feel that same thing?
Let's say there are people who call themselves mediums, then more than that.
What's up with that?
Well, I think, it's so funny, Lisa, when I was first approached or went to a medium myself 40 years ago, and he told me I was going to help change the conscience of the planet, and I'm like, okay, I just want to be a six-time writer from New California. But, okay, whatever, and it happened. But again, as I was saying earlier, I had to sit and develop for so many years. Nowadays, because it's becoming so popular on television with these shows, and people think they can just do it very easily, if they can workshop in a class and they go out medium, but it's not like that. It's really a full development. And to me, I always say the analogy, it's like a flower. You can't force a flower to grow. It's got to grow naturally. So, unfortunately, I think there's a lot of limited knowledge, and I think a lot of ignorance out there about developing social media the proper way. Not every site is a medium, but every medium is a psychic, but not the other way around. So I think it's unfortunate that you're having people out there that are half-baked, giving reading to people, and people's lives that they're responsible for, and that can be very damaging.
Well, especially when we're...
The concept is more out there for people that are more aware of it, but unfortunately, I think the practitioners aren't as skilled as they used to be.
Well, I mean, we have over 5 million people that have died worldwide from COVID, reportedly. How do you think we need more mediums? Do you think it's doing more damage?
Right, my love, because, yes and no in that. Well, it's a good friend of mine who's actually quite a genius. She was brought over from Ireland, a musician from Ireland, older lady, and she was brought over here by the United States government because she was able to break some atomic particle up of some kind of pathogen. So that's
okay.
And she takes apart computers and puts them back together again and creates music. She's amazing. And I asked her the night yesterday, I said, so what do you think about all COVID standing and people behind the level? And she said, James, you have to understand something. She said, the government pays hospitals for the COVID, the funding. So if someone goes in for pneumonia, and they die of pneumonia, but there's COVID there, but he always dies of pneumonia, they'll put down COVID on death certificate, so they get more funding for the hospital.
We saw that.
I'm like, wow. And to me, it makes sense. So they're probably, it's the lowest mortality rate there is out there. If they look at just COVID itself, there's usually something else along with it. I know it's shocking. It's very shocking.
Yes. So basically everything is big business, and...
It's big business, sweetheart. It's money, it's power, follow the money.
Yep, follow the money. Yeah, so what does your school teach that's different, that could make a qualified medium, because we have so many that departed so fast?
Well, that's what, because my whole thing was all about that, is trying to create a space where people have some integrity and direct education to do it, because, it's needed, because it's out there, which is not great. And so I wanted to develop a class, a school, where people could go to, and they could study certain topics that would help them. So, for instance, I made it very much, it was 6 years in getting it to develop. And there are classes that are sort of basic classes in psychic development, intuition. Because a lot of people want to know more how to learn about their psychic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I created that. So there's a variety of different classes in
mediumship and so forth.
Yeah, for instance, one thing I call spiritual adventures. I'll see a whole bunch of different things. So there's certification courses for mediumship and for psychic work, which means that it's over 50 different videos per course. It's a heavy-duty exercises. It's in the development circle. It's under the integrity and responsibility, and it's a 6 month, it's a year course, 6 months a year. But then also there are other types of courses that put on here that open people up to, for instance, grief. There's a lot of grief. There's a course about meditation. I'll go into meditation. So I created certain meditation courses. I also found it very important to help people learn how to protect, if you will, the energy that they have, because if you're a sensitive person, I find a lot of very sensitive people out there, as you do, as you are, and how do you deal with your own energy and people around you? There's some negative energy, relate to the family, negative energy. So I created a whole, really a whole form of energy protection training exercises, energy clearing, tools for the highly sensitive person. I did one called Basic Feeling Protected. Another one is called Claiming Your Power. So we tend to give our power to people. How do we get it back? So really what the school is about, again, is developing your soul self from wherever you're at. And over the years, I found that so many people hold on to their traumas as spoken. And I've got one book, 28 Days Transformation book, that's the most popular. I bring people back to 28 days consecutively. They do it every day for 15 minutes. And they go back to their childhood and give us various experiences, like when they're first born, how they feel. And I just bring them back in these spaces. It's amazing when people, when they're opening themselves up, what they remember and how it's affected the rest of their lives. So it's really kind of soul development as well as not only psychic and healing and intuitive, but it's soul development. It's mindfulness. It's learning how to navigate this world we're living in here.
Right.
And deal with human beings. You deal with the other humans. And one thing I'll say is, I teach a lot, retaining your power. What other people think of you is none of your business. But reprogramming their headspace, getting back to who they are, not who they have to be, but who they are.
Well, I think it's important to train people in a very ethical way and in a thorough way because, I mean, again, you have so many that are departed, so many questions that people have and are asking. There was so for example, every year there's a memorial ride that we do that I'm a cyclist, and there's big group of, it's been like 1,000 in the past, but today it was about 150 people. It was a memorial for a man who was a veteran, several tours in Iraq, came to the States in California, became a police officer, really amazing guy, like not so, and then he was hit by a drunk driver on a bike. And you don't know the soul's journey, but yet we as cyclists come together as a community every year to memorialize the injustice of the passing of this amazing human being.
Number one. Okay, so let's look at that, because that's come up a lot in readings that I've done over years. The drunk drivers, and the drunk driver killed a young boy in the audience, and the boy said, I've forgiven him, now you have to. So how do we not know that's not a lesson of forgiveness? But just that you all got together and did that is so much love. And that's what it's about. It's that demonstration of love is what it's about. We're all about love. It's a hard school because you don't understand certain things that happen like that. You know, it's accidents or accidents, and then people do bad things.
Right.
You got to remember also in the school that we're in, that this is a school made of students who are
there's a pinky on the trunk figure.
never been it before, or still learning, and think that money and power and ego and war is the way.